Welcome to the Black Liberation Tech podcast, brought to you by Jordan Nuance LLC and hosted by Dr. Renée Jordan. This podcast is a accumulation of Dr. Jordan's dissertation work and her passion for empowering Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women, and girls to navigate the academic and professional worlds with confidence and success. Whether you're a mother or a guardian guiding a child through grades 6 through 12, an undergrad or grad student, someone working on a dissertation or thesis, or simply looking to carve out your niche in the career landscape, this podcast is for you. Each episode, Dr. Jordan shares her story, offers invaluable advice, and provides practical coaching to help you thrive in school, work, and beyond. Join our community on patreon.com/Black Liberation Tech and become a member for as low as $5 per month. As a member, you'll gain exclusive access to live recordings, impromptu academic and career coaching, and a network of like-minded individuals committed to mutual support and success. You're also welcome to follow Black Liberation Tech on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Visit black-liberation.tech for even more information on Dr. Jordan's adventure in Inglés o Español. Tune in, get inspired, and let's embark on this journey together. Welcome to Black Liberation Tech, where your success story begins. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black Liberation Tech podcast. I am your host, Dr. Renée Jordan, and today is a special episode to help my professor, methodologist, the one who provided me with such great insight, wisdom, and help on my dissertation. I said that I would provide her with a module that she could share with her students in order to take a look at how AI can be used as a tool and not the answer as they work on their research papers and their dissertations. So what I'm going to do this informally. I'm just going to jump right in and take a look at 4 different products. And these products, I'm not saying that they're the best and I don't have an endorsement from them, but they are products that I have used and found to be helpful. And so I want to take this moment to give back and share with others some things that could help them along the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at ChatGPT. And so I already started writing a prompt and I said, you know what, I should just go ahead and share what I'm doing now as opposed to setting it up and then following up with the results. So this is my ChatGPT screen. It's asking, what can I help you with? And this is what I started to enter. Generate a prompt that a doctoral student could use to insert their research interests, research questions, and keywords that would help them outline their literature review and obtain guiding questions to help them think as they review the literature. The guiding questions should help them frame the so what importance or significance of their work by synthesizing what is known, what is missing or lacking from the literature, and how their work seeks to fill in the gap in scholarship. Seeks to fill in, fill in a gap in scholarship. Okay, so the purpose of this prompt is to be able to provide somebody with a prompt that they can then fill in with their information and then get some help. So this is something you can do before meeting with your advisor and then share what you come up with and what you have seen in order to have a conversation. This is not going to write your literature review for you. So I went ahead and submitted my entry. All right. So here's a prompt that a doctoral student could use to outline their literature review and guide their thinking as they analyze the literature. Prompt for the literature review outline. Research interests. Insert your specific research interests here. Example, education, technology integration, social justice, etc. Research questions. Insert your primary research question here. Example, what are the impacts of learning technologies on student engagement in online education? Keywords, insert the key terms or concepts that define your research: learning technologies, student engagement, online education, instructional design, digital literacy, etc. Guiding questions. For the literature review, what does the existing literature say about the primary concepts related to your research interests? How are your research interests defined and discussed in the existing body of knowledge? What theories, models, or frameworks are commonly used to study these concepts? What are the key findings in the literature on your topic? What are the main trends or conclusions across studies related to the research question? What research methods have been most commonly used in this field? What gaps or limitations exist in the current research? Are there any key issues that have not been addressed or require further explanation? What challenges or contradictions exist in the literature that your research could help resolve? How does the literature address the significance or so what of the topic? Why is the research on this topic important for the field? How do different authors justify the importance of the research? And what implications do their findings have for practice, policy, or further research? How does your research seek to fill in these gaps or expand existing knowledge? What unique perspective or contribution does your research bring to the field? How does your work address the gaps identified in the literature? And what new insights does it offer? What are the limitations or boundaries of your study based on the literature? Are there limitations in the scope, context, or methodology of existing research that your work must navigate or account for? How does your research position itself in relation to the broader field? What implications does the existing literature have for your research methods or approach? How do the methodologies used in prior studies inform or guide your research design? What lessons from previous studies can you apply to strengthen your approach? So this is just a take one in terms of getting you situated. This isn't even the next step. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to copy this information. I'm copying the prompt and the questions, and this is just saying, giving you a synopsis. By using these questions, you will be able to synthesize existing knowledge, identify gaps, and clearly articulate the significance of your research in advancing the field. These questions will also assist you in developing a focused and well-structured literature review that demonstrates the relevance and importance of your work. So I'm going to just copy the prompt that was generated, and I'm copying the guiding questions, and I'm going to place that in a Word document. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to jump over to the Word document. So here it is, and I'm going to hit paste. And my dissertation is already done and defended. Yay! But what I am going to do is I'm going to plug in my information so that we have something to talk about while I do this module, in order to show you how you can go about using it to help you along your way. Once again, AI is a tool, is a resource, is not the answer. If AI could answer these questions, then chances are, why are you going to do your specific research or topic or study? The issue is we need you to do your part in order to help fill in the gaps and strengthen what is known in the field, specifically when we're talking about education. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my research interests. So here are my research interests. Okay, so just to catch you all up, so far I've entered in my research interests. So digital literacies and technology skill development amongst Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women and girls, instructional technology, instructional design, Ubuntu, which is the African philosophy, I am because we are, and since we are, therefore I am, education, technology integration, social justice, creating equitable learning environments, informal learning, after school programs, and a cultural model approach. And I put Sylvia Winter in parentheses. Okay. So my research questions, I'm going to just go ahead and grab those. And while I'm grabbing my research questions, I'm also going to go ahead and grab the purpose of my study. Please note, the purpose of your study can change throughout your process. It can become more refined. And I'm going to drop in another line and I'll say purpose. So the purpose of this qualitative case study is to explore how Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in technology-saturated industries learn technologies and demonstrate digital literacies. I'm going to drop in my research questions. So here are my research questions. I have two. So what can Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in technology-saturated industries tell us about learning how to use technologies? What are the ways of becoming and being Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in technology-saturated industries? And I'm going to go ahead and grab my keywords. So the keywords are going to be the things that are not in my abstract and the things that I have not already pointed out. So I'm going to enter those in here. For my keywords, I have technology skills, digital literacies, Latinas, Black women, technology, saturated industries, cultural model approach, Afrocentricity, Ubuntu, Bumuntu, Bueno, daughtering, humanity, humane research, Afrocentric research methodology, case study, poetic transcription. And since I have the definition of digital literacies, I'm going to include that as well. Now, the rule of thumb is anything that you enter into the AI platform belongs to you, and then whatever comes out of it technically belongs to the AI platform. I do want to caution you that you don't want to send an AI platform information that you would not want to email to a stranger, because yes, you agreed to data privacy, so forth and so on, but I tell you, the least likely places will email you and say, oh, we had a data breach. So treat it like you are indeed sending an email to a stranger. And so make sure that whatever you're sending is something that you don't mind someone else having a look at. Like I said, I've defended my dissertation defense. If I didn't, I probably would put a more vague research question in, something that just got at what I was talking about, as opposed to my actual, because I've defended and it's in the open database system of the college, I feel comfortable entering in my purpose and my actual research questions. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the definition of digital literacies that I used. If there is something that you know you're going to use, then the more information you provide, the better. So once again, I've entered in my research interest. I've entered as an addition my purpose for my study. I've entered in my two research questions. I've entered my keywords, which also included how my paper is indexed, those index words, and digital literacies. So if you, whatever search words you would use in order to find your articles, in order to find the publications and scholarships and studies that have been completed within your field, within your discipline, within the scope of what you want your dissertation to cover, that's what you would enter in there. And because I'm working with a specific term in terms of digital literacies, I'm providing that as well. When I'm talking about digital literacies, it tends to be different as a result of it being explained in this way. And therefore, whenever I talk about digital literacies, I'm referring back to Lewis 2009. So I've entered in that definition. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going back to ChatGPT. I'm going to enter this information. So I've pasted it and I'm going to say use, So you can see I have all of those guiding questions. I'm going to say use the following as context to develop guiding questions to help me with a literature review outline. And so here are the guiding questions before. So right here, I'm going to say also update the guiding questions below so that they are specific to my research study described above. Now, ChatGPT will work through spelling mistakes and errors and things of that nature, but just out of good practice, I try to correct myself whenever I see that there's an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and hit send, and let's see what ChatGPT comes up with this information. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it. And for the sake of conversation, I'll just copy all of this. And I'm going to head back to my Word document and I'm going to put some space and I'll say updated response. All right, so this is what ChatGPT had to say. Here are the updated guided questions for your literature review that reflect your research studies focus on digital literacies, technology skill development, Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women, technology-saturated industries, and key concepts like Ubuntu, Afrocentricity, and cultural model approach. Guiding questions for literature review. What does the existing literature say about the primary concepts related to your research interests? So that was one of the original questions, but now it has honed it in so that it's talking about my specific research interests. So, how are digital literacies and technology skill development defined and discussed in the literature, particularly in relation to Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women, and girls? How is the intersection of technology integration and social justice addressed in education, specifically for marginalized groups such as Black and Latina women in technology-saturated industries? What theories, models, or frameworks such as Afrocentricity, Ubuntu, and cultural model approach are commonly used to study technology use and learning within these communities? Now, it's important for me to take a look at what frameworks are used because when I looked, these were not the ones that were often used, and therefore I was approaching my work with a unique perspective. All right, so what are the key findings in the literature about your topic? What have studies found about the learning experiences of Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in technology-saturated industries? What are the common barriers and opportunities they face in learning and demonstrating digital literacies? How have researchers addressed cultural models and social justice in the context of technology education for underrepresented groups? What research methods have been most commonly used to study digital literacy and technology skill development, especially in qualitative studies or those focusing on marginalized communities? What gaps or limitations exist in the current research? Are there any key issues related to the experiences of Black and Latina women in tech industries that have not been fully explored or require further investigation? For example, specific cultural factors influencing learning or community support systems. What are the contradictions or missing elements in the existing research on digital literacies for women of color, and how can your study address them? How does the literature on informal learning and after-school programs provide insight or leave gaps in understanding the learning journeys of Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in tech? How does the literature address the significance or so what of the topic? Why is understanding how Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women develop technology skills important for creating equitable learning environments and promoting social justice in education? How do different authors justify the importance of addressing the digital divide and promoting equitable access to technology for marginalized communities? What implications do their findings have for practice, for example, in education and tech industries, policy, or future research? How does your research seek to fill in these gaps or expand existing knowledge? What unique perspectives or contributions does your study offer to the field of digital literacy and technology learning for Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in tech industries, especially in terms of applying Afrocentric or Ubuntu frameworks. How does your research work to expand the literature by integrating concepts of community and cultural identity with the development of digital literacies and technology skills in marginalized groups? What are the limitations or boundaries of your study based on the literature? Are there limitations in the scope, context, or methodologies of existing studies that you need to navigate or account for in research? For example, lack of intersectionality, limited focus on informal learning environments like after school programs. How does your research position itself within broader scholarship on digital literacy, tech education, and cultural models? How does it challenge or build on the existing knowledge? Almost done. What implications does the existing literature have for your research methods or approach? How do the methodologies used in previous study, example, qualitative case studies, poetic transcription, Afrocentric research methodologies, inform or guide your own research design? What lessons from prior research or poetic transcription, Afrocentricity, and humane research can you apply to strengthen your research approach, particularly in terms of data collection and data analysis within the context of marginalized communities? All right, so that is how you can get help with your literature review. When it comes to doing the work of research, you have to read the scholarship. Unless you are going in from a grounded theory approach and you are trying to prevent yourself from being swayed one way or the other, then you really need to get into the literature to find out what's going on and what others have to say. And even with grounded theory, you still have to know enough of what's happened in the field to get an inkling in terms of what direction you should go into and the things that you should consider. Thank you for tuning in to the BlackLiberation.Tech podcast, brought to you by Jordan Nuance LLC and hosted by Dr. Renée Jordan. We hope today's episode has inspired you and provided valuable insights to help you navigate your academic and professional journey with confidence and success. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, as well as rate and review the podcast to help it become more discoverable. Whether you're guiding a child through grades 6 through 12, tackling undergraduate or graduate studies, working on a dissertation or thesis, or exploring your career options, this podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Join our community on patreon.com/BlackLiberationTech and become a member for as low as $5 per month. As a member, you'll enjoy exclusive access to live recordings, impromptu academic and career coaching, and a network of like-minded individuals committed to mutual support and success. Don't forget to follow Black Liberation Tech on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Visit black-liberation.tech for even more information on Dr. Jordan's adventures, available in both English and Spanish. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep moving forward. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.